let's go back to the, there we go. And also, what the hell have I got done now? I couldn't find my blood thing. I looked. So I have to use this other blood thing that I quickly. Oh, this is still is that the right mode? There we go. Not that, not this. That's a little better. I don't know what's going on. It's coyote. I believe it. I believe it. Settle down now. I can't get the shadows right anymore. The lighting is so wacky now. I gotta. Oh. Hi. I don't know what I did with my blood. I know it's here somewhere, but I just don't have it. It's probably under this mess right here. Probably under this. But hey. But this'll do. It says blood. That's the word. Combined chat for hype. We got the combined chat, yeah. We got combined chat, period. Ow. I tore up this. See, look, I got bit by something, I think. And then I got one of those little pimple things, and Dopey Me scratched it. So now it's like that now. So I got to wait, and it itches a little bit. Oh, I hate it. It'll go away eventually. I am a mope. What do you want from me? That's who I am. I'm a mope. I bet you this webcam is messed up too. Let me just check it out here. Oh, no, actually it is. Yep, it's messed up. It should be a little less, more like that. And then that is not focused. See, that's wrong. You could, I wish it, and now I'm a little bit red. The gain is correct. Camera control. Well, that's why it was messed up. Something like this. Ah, that'll do. It'll do. That'll do. Anyway, welcome back to the stream, y'all. I just something occurred to me here. Blood, Death Wish, the Tenant walkthrough. Yeah, because that is a different thing. That's a different thing. Oh, actually, okay, I'll check this out later. There might be a walkthrough for this, so that's good. I think. So anyway, what was I going to say? Today was a wacky day in many ways. Like I say, I was having I get ocular migraines, fairly regularly. I would say at least once every couple of weeks, every few weeks, I'll get, oh shit, here it goes. My vision's going. So which is basically, and I've explained this a bunch of times, I know. It's basically, what's that IRL thing you got there, Mar? That's new. I get them. They're basically they're the auras of a migraine without the pain. I don't get the headaches. I just get the aura. So I get the flickery, lighty things and stuff like that. And they happen every now and then. And usually they just happen, and then they last for maybe a half hour or so, and then it fades and it's done. A while ago, I had one, and I had like 2 or 3 of them in a row. Like right away. One would start to fade and then it would come back in again. And that was a little while ago. And this morning I woke up and I had the same thing happen, and they were going for like, it was like 3 hours of this stuff. 3 hours. Like, they're fine now. They're fine now. But anyway, so that was unusual. My vision is okay now. I have some ideas about why it's going on, though. Quite conceivable. Again, because of this backpack strap thing that I've been wearing, and the way I have it strapped around my neck is probably not the best. So anyway, I'll see if that sorts out. But anyway, the point is, I woke up today with just like, what the hell? And so now today, or this evening, or tonight, or whatever, I seem to be a lot better. So I'm just sort of like a little peculiar. But anyway, and also I've got all this work that I need to get done, and I got a lot of it done today, and I'm hoping to get a lot of it done tomorrow. And on Thursday as well. Now, I don't normally stream on Wednesdays and Thursdays, so I'll have a bit of time for that. And then next week, I will be on my channel on Friday and Saturday. You keep it real, yes. On Twitch, or on my channel on Friday and Saturday next week, I'll be playing No One Lives Forever, the operative. So, which I play every now and then because it's just such a great game. So we're gonna be doing that, and on Saturday I won't be streaming on GOG. I won't be streaming on GOG because I'm going to be playing as part of the concert section of Arvin Elleron's Damon Runyon Cancer Research Foundation fundraiser, which he does every year, and I've been pleased to take part in it every year for the last, geez, I don't know how long, 7 or 8 years, whatever. So I'll be playing there again this year, and that should be fun. So no stream on GOG on Saturday. I will be streaming on my channel, though. And then on Sunday, I will be streaming, and we'll be doing more of Gabriel Knight, The Beast Within. I might, as I'm just making this clear because I mentioned it earlier, I might be taking Monday and Tuesday off next week, so the cat can mess up my boxes. Just a second. I got to get these out of the way so the cat doesn't tear them up. Because the cat doesn't care, you see. She's taken to... Ugh. Stay put. Stay put. Good. Like I say, I have a lot of work that I got to try and get done, and I need the time to do it. And it may eat into the streaming time, so I may have to do. I may have to take those couple of days off. We'll see how it goes over the next few days. If I can get a good portion of work done before Monday, then I may not have to bother. But it's just a possibility, just so you know. Okay, all right. I think okay. Yeah. Well, there you go. Anyway, what else is there? Not much else. I've still got a few minutes here. Anyway, yeah, I know. It's just this is a strange. Switching over to the GOG channel is always funny because on my channel I go into a lot of more personal stuff and whatever, and I try to not talk about it too much here, sort of. You know. But I also have this sort of time to fill. And also, I tend to expect that people show up. Just notice that if you click on IRL, it said I went outside. Spies. Yeah, well, there you go. It's what IRL is, right? If you don't go outside, well, actually, IRL does not necessarily mean outside. This is IRL. What you're watching here is IRL. This is real life. No, this is real life, though. This is what you're watching here is real life. This is me. I'm not an AI. If I'm an AI, I'm a pretty pathetic AI. IRL boxes. What is outside? It's the place where you go to get food, unless you get it delivered all the time. I had to go outside today. Are the graphics good? It depends on the day. Some days not so good. Into my life, yes. It's really bad in the bump mapping department. Oh, this Twitch, yeah, this one I didn't switch. You're right, I didn't switch this one. Here, let's fix it. Let's fix that. I can fix that. Oh, well, actually, here, let me knock this out of here for a second. And let's change the size of this. What if we make this 800 and 800? This is probably not going to work, but well, it might. Let's just see. We take that there. And where's my chat? That's too big. Okay, so I gotta fix that. Hang on. There, that works okay. That looks pretty good. We have the technology. We did it. And there it is. Yippee. And now we have everybody. And you gotta have the YouTube chat so that Nathan can talk. Anti-aliasing sucks. Yes, chat does want to see my face. Your face is pretty good there. That was actually pretty good. The way that it did exactly what you meant to do there, Mar. You accomplished exactly what you set out to do. It makes your avatar much clearer. It's still the same face. It's still you, but it just looks sharper and clearer. Yeah, it took away the blur. Yeah. Even on the little tiny avatar, your features come out. I mean, I can't see your eyes per se, right? But I can see your nose and your mouth and your face. Even just clearer. You like the combo chat? Looks good. Yeah. Yeah, it works pretty good. I'm pretty impressed by this. It's Social Stream Ninja is what I'm using. And also it's good to know that I got the YouTube working with GOG as well. So now all of my GOG streams will be posted on YouTube in addition to on Twitch. So that's great. Although on YouTube there's more chances of copyright strikes. But now the only copyright strikes that I get they're never visual. They're always auditory, whether it's music or whatever. So and the last one that I did last night on my channel, Gabriel Knight got like about 30 seconds of copyright material in it. Now, it didn't mean that I would necessarily kitty. It didn't mean that I would necessarily get a copyright strike, but there was some copyright material that was noted. So I was able to take it. I was able to get rid of it. So it lets you. Yeah, this is the other one here. I don't know if I got the. Yep, there she is. Here, hang on. She's not the fatso. She's the skinny one. She's trying to figure herself out here. The content ID claims the reason you stopped streaming Jana Sisters. Yeah. Well, this was just like a bit of time, and so basically I was able to just remove the audio. So the and I made a note of it. No, the stream wasn't disrupted, but there was a portion of the audio that was copyright material. But even on the copyright page thing, it did say that this isn't a strike, and it hasn't been claimed. No one's done anything, but it's just that this is copyrighted material. But the person who has it has not filed any complaint. But the thing is, someone could file a complaint, but they hadn't. So it was just as easy to just remove the audio and let it do. That's what Twitch does. Twitch does that automatically. So if that's good enough to cancel the copyrights, I'm good with that. Although there were definitely games that I won't be able to stream, to be sure. Yeah, sometimes it's fake claimers. Always good to look at who is claiming. Yeah, but it's okay. But this is just 30 seconds of this was at the beginning of the stream when you first meet Gabriel Knight and all the German guys, the people are coming up his walkway up to the castle. During that section, he's typing and there's music in the background, and that music is what's copyrighted. So I was able to just remove that music. So now it's just, so when you get to that point in the video, there's no audio. Big deal. So yeah, so that's what I'll do. That's what I'll do in the future for other stuff too. This is a kitty cat who's sleeping on the pillow. She's doing the right thing. She's sleeping on the pillow, but now she's rubbing her face against me, and that's not going to work. What are you doing? I gotta reach for the boxes now. You're gonna get dumped. You're gonna get dumped. See, now that she's figured out a way to get up here, it's disruptive to the whole box height process. So anyway, people were bringing up the point that last night that Darkstone is being worked into a remaster, which is just terrific. Darkstone, of course, is one of my favorite sort of Diablo-style games, and it'll be great when that comes out. And the game was initially designed by yeah, exactly. The game was initially designed by Paul Cousset. I think it's Paul Cousset, who's French, I believe. Who was also one of the people behind this game, which is another game that I intend to stream again very soon. And that's the almighty Fade to Black, which to me is the best version of Fade to Black is on PC. Much, much better. I think a lot of people would, Reverend Brown. It's a terrific game. And I mean, I'm lucky because I can play it on my old XP machine and it works great. But to play it in Windows 11 is a bit of a chore because of the resolution and whatnot. And there are some fixes for it, but it doesn't work perfectly. But you can play it, you know. So it'd be nice to get it remastered so, you know, so it actually may be higher resolutions and stuff, but keep the same game. But Fade to Black is, I think, one of the underrated pioneering games of third-person perspective gaming. By today's standards, it's very very janky, but I like it anyway, and I like the story in it. I like the the action in it. It is a tricky game to get the controls of and whatnot, but once you get the hang of it, it's actually pretty easy. And it's cool. It's got some great level designs and stuff, and a very cinematic kind of a story. It's also the sequel to Flashback, the original Flashback game. This is a legitimate sequel to that game. You are playing the same guy, Comrade B. Hart, who ends the first game in suspended animation, and he wakes up to find he's on this alien world and he's being attacked and whatever. So you're trying to escape, etc. But this is the same developer. This is Delphine Software, Paul Cousset. So it's good to hear that. It's good to hear that he's doing that remake. It'd be nice if he did a remake of this one too. But well, that one I think is just going to be a remaster. This one could use a lot of work, for sure. But as I say, there is a PlayStation version of this, but I just think this is infinitely better. And that's not just because I'm a PC zealot. It just is. The graphics are better and the controls are better, I think. The game was not very highly regarded on the PlayStation, but the PC version was, pretty much. At least by me, anyway. It's got this weird box, which won't stay closed, but it's got a weird shape to it. It's sort of like a briefcase, kind of. I think that's the idea of it, but it never stays closed. It's supposed to go in here, but it never stays closed. See, that's why I had to pick it up, because the cat was going to walk on it and start peeling it apart. So in the meantime, let me pull this out. Kitty? You're a mope. All right. I'll put that there. Look, she doesn't know what to think. There's the CD right there. This is Fade to Black. And it doesn't fade. Look, that's a reflection of me. And that's my box hype thing. And there's the keyboard commands on the back of the thing. And if you open it up, you get the CD. Fade to Black. You know? Then inside you have all the important goodies. You got your Fade to Black manual, which also has the keyboard commands on the back. And all the instructions and whatnot. You got your Fade to Black technical requirements and system requirements and troubleshooting crap. And it's also EA's official strategy guide. They have an ad for it on the back. I never saw it before. I guess they're still around somewhere. There's the Electronic Arts registration card. Register to get free stuff. So they say. Do you get free stuff? You get free advertisements so you can buy more stuff? Is that what you mean? I don't know. Okay, there you go. What can I do? I'm going to put this right here for now, because you're a varmint. I have another box here I'm going to show you. I've shown this box lots of times, but this is the first time I'll have it so that I can post a hype thing on YouTube, because this has an interesting story, and I've told it a bunch of times over the years. This is the thing, when you stream for like 10 years or more, you tend to repeat things. This is my Quake box, which has a story that so many people have heard before, and they're all going, oh, here we go again. But lots of water under the bridge. Yes, there is. This is back from my days when I used to work at a computer software store where we sold games primarily. We also sold Office, and Corel Draw and other stuff. But we had a big, huge game section as well, and that's back when people used to go to stores and buy software for their computers. Those were the days. So anyway, back in 1996, and Quake was about to be released. And of course, we were all waiting for it, and I had a whole bunch of copies on order. One of the things that I used to do back at the store was I was the one who used to order the software. I used to go through the thing because I was familiar with the what was coming out. The owner of the store didn't know anything about any of this gaming stuff. So I was the guy that used to do it. So I had already a whole bunch of copies of this that were on order. But there were different release dates in Canada and the United States and Europe in particular. There were different dates. Like I believe it was being released in Europe a week or two before. It was not at the same date. But in any case, there was another little company, a small little distributor that I used to do work with, and very often they had European copies of games as opposed to the regular North American ones. And it wasn't like that we couldn't sell them there necessarily, or at least we did anyway, because why not? And some of the games that I've bought are European copies of games because it was very common to find them in the stores. So anyway, when we got we got word that this guy had some European copies of the Quake coming in and was going to be early, well, we thought, well, crap, should get some and put them on, we can put them on the shelves. Excellent. Why not? We still got the other ones coming in, and that's fine, but we didn't have to get too many. So I figured maybe, we could get like, even if we got like 15 or 20 copies, that'd be fine because we had more coming in. So I ordered them, and they showed up. Now, the boss came in one day and saw, oh, this is that game. Oh, that Quake game. Oh, very good. I said, yeah, we just got them today. Oh, excellent. So little did I realize, he put an ad in the paper, in the Toronto Star and in some of the other computer magazine papers or whatever, computer papers, an ad saying that we had it for sale, and blah, blah, blah. The very next day, we got a fax from id Software basically telling us we couldn't sell the game, to get it off the shelves and whatnot, cease and desist kind of thing. So we ended up taking them off the shelves, which is fine. Okay, yeah, okay, fine, sure. So we took them off and nothing, because they never usually, nobody would ever say anything. This is the first time this had ever happened to us. But id told us not to take the game off or to put the game on the shelf. So I sent them all back, except for this one, which is the one that I took for myself, because why not? And I bought it. I paid for it. I just got it for like next to cost or whatever, right? But I got this game, and I wasn't going to bring it back and whatever. That's fine. And we put the other ones back, right? Because you can't. And again, if other people had bought them, like we didn't even get a chance to put them on the shelves. If somebody else had bought them, we couldn't go and say, hey, we got to take that back, So anyway, we sent those back, and we got this. I didn't realize, and again, if you're like me, with a game like Quake, I wasn't reading the manuals. I just opened it up, put the CD in the drive, and off we went, So I never took any kind of a look at this. And I never discovered the actual truth about this game until a few years ago. And I don't know if I can do this on stream with this cat in my lap. But on the bottom, this is not for sale in the United States or Europe. That's what it says on the top there, below the id logo and the GT logo. Not for sale in the United States or Europe. What? I thought this was a European version of the game. Now the only thing that's in this, there was a registration card, but it's not there anymore. But this is the game. This is the CD. This is the game box, the game key CD. On the back here, it also says not for sale in the United States or Europe. Now, I never looked at the manual. There's the CD. There's the CD there. I never looked at the manual, other than just the fact that, well, actually, that's not true. I did look at it, but I looked at the thing, and I looked inside, and it's in Spanish. The manual is in Spanish. Right? So it never occurred to me. I figured that this, it's a European whatever, but it says, but it says not for sale in Europe or the United States. So what the hell? And even on the CD itself, it says that it's a U.S. sort of thing and whatever. So someone came up with the idea to look up the U.S. To look up the code, right? The UPC code on the back. It turns out this is from Mexico. Espanol. Yeah, but this is a Mexican copy. This is a Mexican copy of Quake. It's not from Europe at all. So the guy who sold to us probably didn't realize it either. Someone who got them to him saying that they were from Europe, but they're not. This is actually a Mexican copy of Quake that I have. Now the CD itself is the same. It's in English and all. And there's nothing different about it at all. It's the same CD that was sold everywhere. But it's just a funny thing that that my copy of Quake is a Mexican copy anyway. And it still works. And it's in a box. It's hard enough to come by a box copy of Quake. Like, really. So at least this is the one that I have. What are you doing, kitty? Are you going to stay there the whole night? Could be rough. Okay, I got some... Kitty's being a loaf, yeah. I got some movies here. Actually, this is not a movie, and I've shown this before too, but hey. Many people are totally familiar with Twilight Zone and Rod Serling. And some people are not aware that he also did this show. Did I eventually get the English version? No, because the CD is fine. The CD is the same one. If I got a different version of it, it would be the same CD. So it didn't matter. And of course I have the GOG version now too. So anyway, back to this. This is the complete series of the Night Gallery. Night Gallery was a show that Rod Serling's name was attached to. He also wrote a number of episodes of the Night Gallery, but he had no creative control over Night Gallery at all. He thought that he might, but he didn't. They basically, and this is not uncommon, he had totally creative control over Twilight Zone. And Twilight Zone lasted for 5 seasons before it was finally canceled in the last season. But and for the first few years, of course, it was hugely popular, and the whole of the Twilight Zone, as a term, the Twilight Zone is part of the whole, universal vernacular. It's basically part of their the lexicon of contemporary. Even today, people will talk about the Twilight Zone. And the thing about the Twilight Zone in itself was that it was basically a fantasy-based TV series where it was just these uncanny sort of ideas and things that would happen to these various different people. The thing about Night Gallery, it was an attempt by, I think it was NBC at the time, to capitalize on the same sort of concept and have an anthology series where, with weird and wacky stuff. The difference was, this show was more devoted to monsters and werewolves and witches and ghosts and stuff like that, and the supernatural sort of thing. There are some really good episodes on this that are totally sort of representative of what Twilight Zone used to be. So there are definitely some really good episodes of this. There are also some cheesy, crappy ones. There's also some goofy ones that were done from a comedic point of view and whatnot. So the show itself is sort of hit and miss. But there are episodes of this show that are fabulous. A few really, really good ones. There's the very first, as a matter of fact, one of in the pilot episode, there was one episode called Eyes, which was directed by Steven Spielberg, and it was the first show that he had ever directed, period. And that was in the pilot episode of Night Gallery. And it starred Joan Crawford. This is one of the last things she was in before she died. About a blind woman who's losing her sight, and she got all kinds of money, and she's going to do this operation so that she can get her sight back. And it's a pretty cool episode. There's some other good ones there too. There's one later on in the series called The Caterpillar, which is still to this day, it's stuck with me forever. That's one episode of this show that is just, holy crap, so disturbing. It's basically the story, just to tell you the story of this one a little bit. This guy who's living on this island, and he's sort of trapped there on this island, and there's this couple that live there, this older guy. There you go. See you later. You gone? Good. It's this older guy with this beautiful young wife, and he is smitten by this woman, but she will have nothing to do with him because she's married to this other guy. And she doesn't even really like him. But he figures that, I mean, on this island, there's no one else around. And if he was gone, if the old man was gone, eventually she would have no choice, you know. So he learns about this way to be able to murder this guy so that he would not be blamed for it. And, oh, what the heck is happening here? Just a second. I just got to, did I pause my stream there? No, I did. Yeah, okay. I must have paused it. Anyway, this sailor tells him about this thing called an earwig. And the idea with the earwig is that if you put one near someone's ear, the earwig will crawl inside the person's ear and basically eat its way through its brain. Whoever the unlucky person is who gets this thing in his ear. And this is only part of it. I'm not really giving it away. But he ends up getting it in his own ear. And that's not the end of the story. So, and it's Lawrence Harvey is the guy who plays it. He's the guy who played the quasi bad guy in the original Manchurian Candidate, and it is just a brutal show. And his performance in it is just to be seen, to be believed. But anyway, that's just one. Yep. That's just one episode in this thing. There's a few other ones. They're tearing down Terry Riley's bar. That's another one that's a Rod Serling episode. The Caterpillar was Rod Serling as well, I think. But oh, by the way, there are a few episodes of this that are actually have audio commentaries from Guillermo del Toro, and the Caterpillar is one of them that he does the commentary for, and it's very, very good. But they're tearing down Tim Riley's bars about this business guy who's realizing that he's getting too old for the business, and the young guys are all coming to take over, basically, and he's being sort of shoved out. And that's a really good episode. It's also not like many of the other Twilight episodes, like the Twilight Night Gallery episodes. It's more like a Twilight Zone episode, which is really good. Anyway, I just was mentioning this show because they only had it on for 3 years, and Rod Serling was his name attached to it. It's Rod Serling's Night Gallery, but he had no say over the show at all, and he wasn't really happy with it. Some of the shows were good, but overall it was kind of a disappointment for him, which is too bad. But some of it's good, and there it is. It's also got a brutal. I love the theme song of this thing. Anyway, there's that, and I got one other movie here I wanted to show you too, and I've shown this one lots of times before, by the incomparable British duo of Powell and Pressburger. Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger did a number of classic films that are among the best films, not only best films to come out of Britain, but also some of the best films ever made. And there's a litany of them. They're probably, Powell and Pressburger for me are one of the best filmmakers who managed to be able to make money with very artistic films. They did stellar world-class cinema that were capable of being played in art houses that were popular. They were able to hit nerves and express ideas and talk about things that were much more interesting than your standard like Hollywood film, so to speak, but to do it in a way that was entertaining. They made thought-provoking, entertaining films. This is one of their earlier ones, which is still, I think, a terrific movie called A Matter of Life and Death, with David Niven and Kim Hunter and Roger Livesley. This tells the story, and what I'm telling you now is not a spoiler. This happens right at the beginning of the movie. So, David Niven plays a guy who is it's during the Second World War, and he's on a plane, and the plane is with other soldiers and whatnot. The plane is going down. Everyone else on the plane is dead, and he can't fly it. And there's no parachutes, and so he's talking to an air traffic person, who is this woman played by Kim Hunter, to basically let her know that the plane is going down and that there's no way to be able to save it, and he's either going to stay on it or he can jump out, and he might be able to jump out, who knows. But anyway, the two of them talk on the radio while they're there, and they become enamored with each other, and she is, trying to give him some solace that his life means something, and that and he's not going to die in vain, and all this sort of stuff, and they have a connection. So anyway, like I say, this happens right at the beginning of the movie, so this is not a spoiler. He decides to ditch the plane, even though he's got no parachute. So he jumps out of the plane. In the next scene, he's on the beach. And he survived it. He shouldn't have survived it. There's no way he should have survived it, but he did. And he gets up and walks away down the beach, and he sees this woman riding up on a bicycle. And it's her. And they meet. And she knows that he is the guy that was in the plane. And he knows that she was the traffic controller. And somehow, through some miracle, he survived this plane, and they met. And they fall in love. And they're going to get married. And all of that. Now, that's just the opening of the movie. The point of the movie is, this was a mistake. This should not have happened. Now we go to heaven. The movie's in Technicolor, by the way. The section of the movie that takes place in heaven is in black and white. And in heaven, it's determined that he was supposed to die and somebody screwed up. Right? So the idea is that there's this guy in heaven who's supposed to be sent down to convince David Niven that his life was supposed to have ended and that he was not supposed to survive and that he needs to go to heaven. And he's going to go to heaven. But he's got to leave because he's supposed to have died. But he doesn't want to go because he's in love. So in the end, the movie is about a court case where he has to defend his life and not have to go to heaven. That's the basic idea, the matter of life and death. This stairway to heaven, this the stairway to heaven. The song Stairway to Heaven, that whole concept, Stairway to Heaven, came from this movie. You know, the idea of a stairway. That's what this is. This is actually, like, this is a drawing here, but they did an actual sort of stairway thing, and that was like an escalator that goes up to heaven sort of thing. But anyway, it's a fabulous movie. It's just really, really, it's somewhat melodramatic, but it's very, very cool. There's one other thing about this as well that is interesting. They were asked by the British government to make a movie that would be sort of a propaganda movie that would convince Britain to stay involved in the war and whatnot. And this movie is not that at all. They went and did this. And it's not a propaganda piece. It's not about, you know, they use that some sort of idea to show this guy and all of this sort of stuff. So, you know, it might be construed as something that was, you know, painting a nice picture of the military, so to speak. But the movie is totally unrelated to that. So in any case, this movie is, I don't know, it's one of their early classics. That I just adore it. It's great. Raymond Massey, what year was this made? 46? Yeah, 1946. And it's an early Technicolor movie. Part Technicolor, part black and white. It's a great film, a matter of life and death. This is the Criterion edition version of the film. They've got numerous films that are just absolutely brilliant. So anywho, there we have it. Now we got to try and figure something out here. Okay, let me go back to here, and then I can